magnificent win from the Bombers. They were the best side all night. The last quarter, obviously, they ran out of legs and all that sort of thing. But you don't mind that when you've worked so hard for 3 quarters. We touched on it at 3-quarter time. The tackle count, 68-21. They dominated the outside run. 214 uncontested possessions to 142. All those things. And we see big Joe Danaher. He's about to win his 3rd medal, it looks like, in the space of 3 weeks, Beaver, because he's alongside Cameron Link.
Yeah, we should be able to pick it up from down in the middle, the Tom Wills medal. So we'll just pick up the audio with our very own Cameron Link.
To Joe Danaher. Well done, Joey. Well, Joey, as Sheeds just said to you, boy from the country, kicked a bag, a winning game, a pretty special night.
Yeah, it was. Look, it's always good to play against quality opposition, and Geelong are just that. So, it was a better performance from our point of view, but we just got to keep working. We've got a long way to go to be the team that we want to become.
The first half was some outstanding footy. Your forward line looked dangerous. Did you enjoy just having those multiple options down there?
Yeah, look, we're trying to build our game on the back of the fence, and in the last month it hasn't been up to the standard that we want, and we're building, as I said before, and hopefully the guys in the forward line will reap the benefits of our defensive work.
And a great turnout tonight, the country round, country game, as Kevin Sheedy's come up with it. Lots of activities going on, and a boy from the country, that must be nice as well.
Yeah, I can pretend I'm from the country, but 6 kilometres out of the CBD doesn't quite cut it. Look, it's a fantastic initiative and something that both Geelong and Essendon are going to support for a long time, so it's going to be a really exciting piece of the calendar.
Well, the Danaher family certainly from the country. Congratulations tonight, mate. Well done.
Thanks, man.
So there you go, Joe Danaher with his 5 goals, and he's awarded the Tom Wills medal as best on ground in the country game for 2017. That audio courtesy of our good friends at Channel 7 with our very own Cameron Ling, who'll be part of the broadcast tomorrow. Of course, the footy preview coming from here at the MCG before we take the call from our sister station of the Suns and the Power, the historic game from China. But more on that a little bit later. Continue with some initial thoughts, Matthew Lloyd and Kane Corns on Saturday night 3RW footy.
Yeah, well, Chris Scott labelled Geelong a very ordinary side last week after their loss to Gold Coast. It'll be interesting to see his press conference tonight and what he says about that, because for 3 quarters it looked as though Geelong didn't want to be there as they line up for their former teammate James Kelly be carried off the ground for his 300th. I thought he was really important tonight as well, Kelly, especially early. Drifted out of it late, but what a career he's had at 2 clubs with Joel Selwood and Dyson Heppel sharing the carrying off duties.
Gee,
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
No, I've never seen that. That is a great touch.
That's so appropriate, isn't it? With James Kelly, just his 28th game tonight in red and black. So 272 of them in for the Cats, and celebrating the milestone in style.
He played extremely well too, James Kelly. He was enormous early. I thought his first quarter was magnificent. He finished with 10 marks, so controlled the back half beautifully. 23 disposals. That first quarter, 12 disposals, had more than anyone on the ground when this game was set up. Look at the Cats trudging off the ground. They've got a lot of questions hanging over them. You just talk about it all the time, how they have some champions, but they have so many average players who just do not contribute week after week after week. But let's talk about the Bombers for now. Merritt was huge. If it wasn't going to be Danaher, can you tell us who you voted for?
Yeah, I went Danaher, I went Fantasia, and then I went Merritt.
Yeah.
I just thought Fantasia, especially just at vital times during the game, Beaver was outstanding, and midfielders dominate these types of awards, so you like to reward some other contributors as well.
We are going to be getting down to the Essendon rooms in just a tick to Tiff Cherry, and we believe Joe Danaher will be joining us as well, best on ground tonight. In fact, let's get down to Tiff now.
Absolutely, they're led by Joe Watson. Big round of applause, but there's certainly some club legends down here, smiles on their faces. This was a big win for this team, and they are exhausted though coming in. They've just put James Kelly in the middle, the 300 gamer. Of course, did it against his old side, but they are pretty exhausted, this bunch, as they just wearily form the circle. And here they go. In a second.
Hey, whoa, hey, whoa.
with Big Joey in a second.
Good on you, Tiff Cherry down there in the triumphant Essendon rooms after their 17-point win. 17-8, 110 to 13-15, 93. Joe Danaher to join us shortly. Let's quickly look ahead as well. The Bombers, the Jackets will be out next Sunday, the early game against the Eagles, 1:10 at Etihad Stadium. But what about the Friday night game? The Cats and the Dogs, both now 5-3 for the reopening of Cardinia Park.
Oh yeah, this it's just a great season. You know, see Brisbane are really falling away now. Obviously being spanked again by Hawthorn today. But apart from that, you've got to be on your mettle, or any team could beat anyone else on any given day. That's how even it's become. You think Sydney and Hawthorn, they're going to win their fair share of games, and they're 16th and 17th at the moment. But just you look at the scoreline, 17 goals, 8, the Bombers. And I reckon the amount of easy shots they got just through those goals out the back, and the pace compared to Geelong. Apart from that last quarter, everything was hard work, Hornsby.
Oh, it was. And you speak about the competition, just casting our eye over Melbourne and Adelaide and what's happening there. Melbourne keeping Adelaide at 56 points when they were the red-hot premiership favourites, some saying they weren't going to lose the game all year. So I just think it's so open this year, and even Sydney and Hawthorn probably not out of it, and Melbourne and St Kilda right in contention to play finals for the first time in a while. So what a competition.
62 to 13 since half-time over there in Adelaide. It was 6-7 to 5-3 at half-time. And now it's 15-5 to 8-9. It is an incredible turnaround.
And the last 2 or 3 weeks, we've had some bubble bursts, haven't we? Richmond won their first 5. They've struggled in a couple of games. Then Adelaide looked, as you said, Kane, maybe go through the season undefeated. They've lost their last couple, or will lose their last couple.
Giants are just
and the Giants.
And the injuries.
And then the Cats have lost their last 3.
Let's get back down to the Essendon rooms and Big Joey Danaher.
Absolutely. Joey, about 5 goals. It was a fantastic effort by you. You've bagged another medal. But just for you in terms of being able to produce that performance after a season that's been up and down.
Yeah, look, it's been up and down for our footy club this season. We haven't quite found the consistency we're looking for, but we're really confident that that's coming. We've been trying to build our game on the back of defence, and it's something we'll continue to do. So hopefully we can find some more consistency going forward.
Joey, what did you take out of the loss in Fremantle? You seem to have stopped and were steamrolled by Fremantle, really. So what were the goals to bring into this game? Because you started really well as a side.
Yeah, look, Lloyd, it was just on the back of our contest. We thought last week, late in the game, late in the second half, we stopped playing, and it sounds pretty funny to say that, but we got really reactive, and it's something that even happened in the last quarter today. So it's something that we're going to continue to work on, no doubt. It's bringing our game back to a contest, and it's something we did really well in the first half, and again fell away a little bit in the second half.
Joey, when you looked at Geelong, Collingwood and Gold Coast had great success with tagging Dangerfield and Selwood, but tonight you went head-to-head through the midfield and backed your guys in, and didn't they reward you?
Yeah, look, they were fantastic. From the start, they brought a really fierce contest around the ball, and just by looking at it, looked like our tackle numbers would have been much better than they had been previously. So it's a credit to those guys, but again, we're just looking for that four-quarter effort that we haven't quite found yet. So we'll keep working hard, and I'm sure that consistency is not far around the corner.
You personally, congratulations! What a game tonight. Round 6, you kicked the 1-goal 6, and you were the subject of some pretty strong criticism on social media. Not sure if you even saw it, but how are you coping? Because I thought tonight your response was outstanding, and you're having a pretty solid season.
Oh, look, it's a long-term approach that I'm trying to take. I'm trying to be very consistent with the way that I train, the way that I prepare to play football, and it's something that it takes a lot of time to learn how to do that properly. And I'm very lucky that I've got some really strong leaders around me that are pointing me in the right direction. But again, I'm just really looking forward to improving and really challenging myself and seeing where I can get to. But look, it was a really, really exciting night to get the win tonight, and we're looking for more consistency going forward.
Joe, do you reckon just spending a bit of time in the ruck is helping your game generally? You look to really enjoy getting up the ground and getting amongst it.
Oh, look, it's good fun. Not great fun rucking against Aaron Sandilands last week, but it's a thing that I'm trying to add to my game. To be a really important ruckman when I go in there for our footy club, and it's something we value at the football club, being able to play multiple positions. And you see guys really pressing in our VFL side, and that's because they can play a variety of roles when they come in. So it's something that we'll keep working on.
And you feel up forward, the pressure being relieved. You've got Cale Hooker, and then James Stewart emerging tonight. He kicked 3 goals in the first half. Really takes a bit of the attention away from you.
Yeah, we're trying to build a really flexible team across all the lines of our football club, and as I said again, we've got guys pressing at VFL level, which really helps the performance at senior level. Guys like Craig Bird, Kyle Langford, Brent Stanton, Marty Gleeson, all going back in the reserve. So guys know that their spots are on the line, and it makes them work just that little bit harder.
And talk through the number 47, James Kelly. I thought he was huge tonight. 23 disposals, 10 marks, controlled the back half, and what he's brought to Essendon in his time, Joey.
Yeah, look, invaluable what he's brought to our footy club. We've been really pleased with what he's able to provide on field, and again tonight, super consistent performance. But it's behind the scenes what he does for our younger brigade, what he does for our senior group, and the standards that he drives. And we're very fortunate to have him. He's had a very successful career, and something that our younger players are really trying to emulate.
And Joey, as we let you go, it's been a big day for the family. I caught up with your dad at Caulfield Races today. Little share the family in the winner of the first.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I think Mum was pretty thrilled with that. So, to get the first up win is exciting, and it was a good start to our day.
It's been a huge day for you and the Bombers and the family. Enjoy the victory, and look forward to seeing you in action against the Eagles next Sunday.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Joe Danaher, best on ground tonight, 5 goals, at least 3 of them nominations for the Pancake Parlour goal of the night. And he's just an extraordinary athlete, isn't he? And when you think that he is only 23 years of age, only turned 23 a couple of months ago, wow, the upside is incredible.
Yeah, staggering 2 weeks ago when there was some pretty strong criticism towards him. A lot of the media people blaming him for the loss against Melbourne, which, a week earlier he'd won the Anzac Day medal. So you probably take the criticism with the plaudits that he gets. But just thought the big goals that he kicked tonight, I gave him the 3 votes tonight. The one on 3/4 time from just on the paint of the 50 was massive. And then, just as Lloydie said in that last quarter with about 10 minutes to go that Essendon needed a big one, he bombed one from outside 50 tonight. So crucial goals for that start tonight.
We need to take a break. We can open our footy open line as well for Nick Theodosi. Prestige Cars. Everybody should own a Prestige car at least once in their lifetime. We'd love to hear from both Bombers and Cats supporters leaving the MCG tonight. A crowd of in excess of 57,000. 96900 693 or outside of Melbourne 13 13 32. And after the break as well, there's been some sad news here at the MCG this evening regarding 2 or 3 patrons, and Gary McQuaid in the 3AW newsroom will join us on the other side of the break to bring us up to speed with what exactly has occurred tonight here at the cricket ground. But it was the Bombers inside the fence by 17 points, 17-8, 110 to the Cats, 13-15, 93. We'll take your calls on the other side of this, 96900 693, or outside of Melbourne, 13 13 32. 3AW is football.
This is the 2017 Toyota AFL Premiership season. This quarter, brought to you by Tyre Power, Australia's biggest independent tyre retailer.
Say hello to the pumped up 3-litre, more torque, 6-speed Isuzu D-Max. Get the 4x4 crew cab range from just $39,990 drive away. For terms and conditions, visit your Isuzu Ute dealer today.
Getting older, wiser, happier. For agecare101.com.au.
Do you worry about your mum or dad living at home as they get older? Understanding your options is important, as the new rules and regulations can be complex. agedcare101.com.au is a free service making aged care easy. You can find information, ask questions, and search for nursing homes in your area. It's all there for you at agedcare101.com.au.
For everything in retirement living and aged care, tune in to Older, Wiser, Happier. Sundays from 4 on Talking Lifestyle. Thanks to agedcare101.com.au, making aged care easy.
CarAdvice.com rates and reviews every new car in Australia. Here's Mandy Turner from Car Advice with this week's comparison.
Hatchbacks are affordable and practical and are a popular choice amongst couples when choosing their next car. We picked 3 to compare: the Holden Astra, Renault Megane and Subaru Impreza. The improved Astra has made waves as it spearheads Holden's European range, whereas the Megane is the stylish French option for those who like to think differently. Meanwhile, the Impreza has signature all-wheel drive surety. All 3 come in at under $30,000, with each offering a compelling package. But which is best for you? Head to caradvice.com to find out.
CarAdvice.com. Trusted and independent comparisons, reviews, specifications, entertaining videos and more. From SUVs and performance cars to utes and small runarounds. CarAdvice.com. Every new car, every last detail.
As someone who loves small business insurance, people often say, do you ever stop talking about it? And I always reply, no, not when there's so much to know. Like, can I choose the amount of liability? Is my vehicle included? And my laptop? Yes, yes, and yes, RACV will answer. At that point, people usually say, that's fascinating, but I've really got to go. And I say, you should discover the thrills of small business insurance yourself at racv.com.au/business. Good PDS too. Product issued by Insurance Australia Limited.
Tripperdeal, Australia's favourite travel deals website, is offering an amazing 19-day Best of Europe holiday. Experience the great European sights on this spectacular land and sea journey. See the Eiffel Tower, Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, travel to Cannes by high-speed train, go to Nice on the stunning French Riviera, wander the romantic streets of Venice, soak up the sun on the Greek island of Mykonos, Italy, France, Croatia, Monaco and more with return flight. 9 nights accommodation in a hotel, 7-night Mediterranean cruise, and transfers and taxes included. It's a trip worth grabbing with both hands. The 19-day Best of Europe holiday is normally $8,999. Book now with Tripperdeal and pay just $4,799 per person twin share. Travel dates, additional surcharges, terms and conditions at the website tripperdeal.com.au. To secure this deal, go to tripperdeal.com.au or phone 1300 008 747 or tripperdeal.com.au.
Duncan, handball to Tui was a bit fierce. Bomber turnover here, they could almost ice the game. Green's got it. Fantasia runs for him. He chips to that player. Open goal ahead of him. Fantasia almost fell over his feet, but dribbled the goal home. And the Bombers are home. Fantasia's third. And the Bombers were home by 17 points, 17-8, 110 to Geelong, 13-15-93. We'll get down to the Cats rooms in just a tick. Andrew Mackey standing by alongside Tiff Cherry. Crowd of in excess of 57,000 here tonight, and there has been some sad news from the MCG tonight regarding a few of the patrons that were in attendance. Let's head to the 3AW newsroom and say a very good evening to Gary McQuaid.
Well, hi Beaver. Yes, an exceptionally busy night for paramedics during the Essendon-Geelong game. A man has died after collapsing at the MCG tonight. Paramedics who were on duty at the ground were called when the man, aged in his 80s, suffered a cardiac arrest just after 7:30. 2 other people also collapsed during the game. About 10 minutes earlier, a man in his 70s had suffered a cardiac arrest. He's been taken to the Alfred Hospital in a critical condition, and a woman in her 20s also collapsed at the ground. That was just before 8 o'clock. She's also been taken to the Alfred in a critical condition. All of these calls happened in different areas of the ground, and paramedics say it was good that defibrillators were on hand to begin CPR before their crews arrived on scene. I'll have more details in our news at 11 o'clock.
Thanks, Gary. Gary McQuaid there in the 3AW newsroom. That is very sad news, and our thoughts with the family and friends of the gentleman who was passed away earlier this evening here at the MCG. Let's get down to the Geelong rooms now. Andrew Mackey, always very good with his time on 3AW football, has been good enough to join us. He's standing alongside Tiff Cherry.
Thanks, Bruce. And 14 touches for Andrew, 5 inside 50s. We were just speaking off mic then. You weren't surprised by the Bombers and how quickly and how fast they came out. But why was it that you guys allowed them to get such a jump on you?
Yeah, just before I start, Tiff, our thoughts with those families too. So from a Geelong Footy Club, our thoughts with them. Just thought I'd say that first. But look, very disappointing. I think we always expect the team to come out fast, no matter who they are. And certainly you've got to expect it and actually do that yourself. So it's pattern of ours that hasn't been great. To give starts the first quarter, it's hard to catch up, and you end up using a fair bit of energy. But to say that we didn't expect it, we did. We just got to be better than them at that, and clearly we weren't tonight.
Andrew, it seemed a little puzzling up here watching on that how well you played in that final quarter when you really took the game on, you kicked into the corridor, there was some fantastic ball movement, but we didn't see a lot of that in the first half and maybe even the first 3 quarters. Was it discussed post-match?
Yeah, there was a bit discussed. Look, it helps when we take the ball off them a bit earlier than what we were doing in the first 3 quarters too. So there's a lot to it. It's obviously the byproduct is the ball movement flowing, but we just weren't able to take the ball off them quick enough tonight. The marks, the uncontested footy, they just played their game style, and when you don't have the footy, you can't actually move the ball that quick, and when you do, you're probably too far pinned back in your D50 to get some good looks into attack. So there's a lot of our game that clearly isn't where it needs to be. That's the challenge for us, and we've just got to dig in and turn this around.
Andrew, 5 players didn't lay a tackle, 8 players with just 1 from the Cats. Did you address that after the game, and is that a simple stat to look at that probably showed where the mindset was at tonight?
Yeah, Kane, it is. It's often, stats aren't everything, but that doesn't lie. I think, to my point before about the uncontested marks, to be honest, there was times that we could tackle, but it actually wasn't. We've got to actually defend better, defend the marks, defend the hit-ups, defend the switches better to actually make the game a contested type style where we can actually lay a tackle, because if they're marking and kick it around, you can't actually get your hands on them and lay a tackle.
Hey, Andrew, bad luck tonight. What about the Bombers' ability to get you out the back? It's probably happened too many times with Fantasia, Tip and Woody, these type of players. Again, is that due to a lack of pressure up the ground?
A bit of everything, Lloydie. Yeah, we'd like to think that we set up better than what we did tonight. But yeah, I think defensively around the whole ground we've got to get much better. Clearly, we're nowhere near where we need to be, and I'm not just talking about the back six. I'm talking about when the ball hits the ground and 2 metres out from our goal line. We've got to be better there too. And like we spoke about before, it's a bit of a flow-on effect, and boys do get sucked up and try and read where it's going next, and then next thing you know, there's boys out the back. So the things that you're speaking about, it's very clear to us, and we've just got to get the work done. It's disappointing because we actually know it, and we're just not able to get it done at the minute.
And just finally, Andrew, even though it's on a losing note tonight, I'm sure you'd like to pay a short tribute to your ex-teammate James Kelly, 300th game tonight. Lovely effort at the end as well, with Joel Selwood sharing the duties with Dyson Heppel of cheering him off the ground.
Yeah, look, he's been a big part of our footy club. 300 games is an amazing effort. As Kane knows, it's there's a lot. Well, all of you guys know up there. There's a lot that goes into preparing yourself for a game of footy week in, week out, and times like this right now, you get through these ones, and you've just got to enjoy the good moments, and hopefully for his sake he is. I thought he did well tonight, and as I said, he's been a great part of our footy club over the journey, and it was good to see him. As you said, it was a nice touch with Joel and Dyson carry him off.
Huge night next Friday night, the reopening of Cardinia Park. Massive clash against the Doggies. Good luck.
Good on you guys. Cheers.
Andrew Mackie joining us there in the Geelong rooms, and the Cats losing 3 games in a row for the first time in 11 years. You have to go back to rounds 8, 9 and 10 of 2006, that horrible year that they had, and then the very ordinary start to 07 before the massive turnaround. I think it started with about a 25-goal win over the Tigers, and they just didn't look back. But 11 years since the Cats have lost 3 in a row.
The interesting thing about it is the 3 losses have come against teams that are certainly, at the moment, out of contention. Essendon now have levelled their ledger, but certainly teams in the bottom half of the table, and that's obviously very concerning.
And I think similar to Collingwood. Collingwood lose a certain way all the time, and I think Geelong are similar. Like they're just being opened up, Chris. So yeah. Collingwood opened them up like no other. Collingwood hasn't opened up any sides, and they opened up Geelong 3 weeks ago. We saw the Gold Coast Suns get 71 inside 50s and score at will. And then all the pacey players around the competition. So Aaron Hall last week, these type of players. And now this week, just Fantasia and all the quick players.
Donald Tip and Woody was another, wasn't he, that ran the lines?
Yeah, Zaharakis has been out of form. He has 31 disposals. Merritt, 33 to go with 12 tackles. So they've got huge issues. And they play the Western Bulldogs next week. So they're not you'd have to back the Western Bulldogs on the form we've seen from Geelong.
One of their positives is 4 of their next 5 played at Simmons Stadium. So at least gives them a chance to get home and maybe recapture some of that early season form.
Yeah, the next 3 in a row down there, the Dogs, then the Power, and then the Crows. So 3 huge weeks coming up for the Cats, who after winning their first 5 are now 5-3, and they'll meet the Bulldogs also 5-3, coming off that gallant 8-point loss to the Eagles last night. Let's head back down to Tiff Cherry before we take a break. It's 29 minutes after 10 on the Ray White clock. The injury report, as always, for our good friends from Morris Blackburn Lawyers, experts in personal injury. Tiff, what can you report?
Well, look, the Bombers look like they've got a pretty clean bill of health, which is good news going into their clash against the Eagles on Sunday next week at Etihad. But for the Cats, we saw Reece Stanley go down just late in that game in the dying minutes, grabbed his right knee, was taken off. I've just asked the media personnel down here. They're not quite sure what's happening with him, but certainly the doctors will be assessing that, and potentially he'll be having scans through the week to see the extent of any damage to his knee. But also Mark Blitzov's looked to have knee tendonitis. He was playing well below his best in his left knee, so he'll be obviously managing that through the week and ahead of their game against Western Bulldogs.
Good on you, Tiff. Tiff Cherry there with the injury report for Morris Blackburn Lawyers, experts in personal injury. He's had an array of injuries over his career. Reece Stanley, it was that serious foot injury 2 years ago, I think, in his first year at the Cats. A succession of injuries as well when he was at the Saints. He wasn't having a good night, it must be said, before the injury. It was
he wasn't alone, but
no, he had a few mates. He did have a few mates.
Their big men are an issue. I think Zach Smith is just going. Reece Stanley's really struggling. It was great to see Taylor find a bit of form tonight.
Is Blitzov's the first casualty of the third man up rule? Because I just thought that was the way he based his game around. He'd start on the wing and then come over the top. It got him involved in the game. He'd go up and then he could win the clearance on the ground. He just seems lost without that rule. And we thought Geelong were probably going to be the one team that were going to suffer with their 3 big men the way they used to use it so effectively. So he's struggling with that, and I found it hard that the sides found out about that rule so late to not be able to prepare for that with their list. But he looks to be in all sorts, and Geelong's list management, the way they've gone, probably needs to be looked at now in terms of the draft picks they've given up.
We're just reminded by Joel Brooks, our producer, that when the rule first came in, no third man up, or he went on Twitter and says, I better go to seek.com. Mark Blitzov's. That's how badly it was going to affect him. Yeah, exactly. He hasn't been the player.
Where do they go now with their assistants for Hawkins? Taylor has played mostly there this year as that foil to Hawkins. They've realised tonight that, okay, we've got to put him back. Where do they go to now? Aaron Black's, of course, on the list and was dropped for tonight's game, but it's a real issue for them. They've got to find that support from somewhere, don't they?
Yeah, they tried Mitch Clark, and that one didn't work either. So
Shane Kirsten,
Freo, and you just wonder, Cornsey threw up Motlop. Yeah, I know we're talking about this year, but just wonder, moving on, someone like Motlop, does Ablett come in for Motlop, similar money, or but you're right, they do need to find another avenue.
Stanley was up there again, but I'm not sure that he's necessarily the answer as a key forward.
He's had
on
2
a permanent basis.
Big games, hasn't he? I remember one for St Kilda, he smashed Fremantle.
That's right.
And he kicked 6 against the Dogs. I reckon that's
5 or 6 down at Geelong.
But apart from that, he hasn't done too much.
We need to take a break. We've covered the triple header today, so we haven't had a chance to listen to many of the coaches with post-match press conferences. And as we go to the break as well, final score from over in Adelaide, another upset. The Demons have kicked 12 goals 2 to 3 goals 5 after half-time to turn a 10-point half-time deficit into a 41-point victory over the Adelaide Crows. 17-5, 107 to 9-12, 66. So the Crows, after being unbeaten 6-0 and sailing along beautifully at the top of the table, smashed by North Melbourne in Hobart last week, and now on their beloved home deck, have been belted by 41 points by the Demons. The football world has officially gone mad. We will take a break. We can take your calls after the break, 96900 693, or outside of Melbourne, 13 13 32. It was the Cats going down by 17 points tonight to the Bombers. The twilight game, it was the Giants by 3 points. A last gasp win over Collingwood thanks to a Stevie J goal in the goal square with 30 seconds on the clock. The Saints by 19 over the Blues, and the Hawks by 38 over the Brisbane Lions. This is 3AW Football.
This is Neil Mitchell, and I'll give you a hotline to the leaders, the Prime Minister, the Premier, the head of the AFL. That's 8:30 weekdays, 3AW 693.
Tomorrow, it's China, with Gold Coast taking on Port Adelaide from the beautiful city of Shanghai.
Gives it to Westhoff, to Broadbent. This is within range from 55 metres. Matthew Broadbent goes back.
From midday, Tim Lane, Matthew Richardson, Cameron Ling and the team. Then it's North Melbourne up against the Sydney Swans.
Ben Brown, banana, on the right. Oh, geez, kicked it. That's a great goal.
For KFC, 3AW is football.
Hi, I'm Sharon from Renaissance Living. If you're 55 plus and ready to downsize to urban apartment living, do come and inspect our attractive Surrey Hills address. Renaissance Living low-maintenance apartments are perfectly located in Riversdale Road with gorgeous facilities to complement your independent lifestyle. No need to kiss your gardening goodbye. We even have a huge veggie garden for your use. Renaissance Living, built by Revita. Find our details at renaissanceliving.net.au.
The Small Business Success Awards celebrate the exciting and often challenging lives of small business owners. If you're in small business, don't miss this fantastic opportunity to be recognised for your hard work. Tell us your small business success story in 250 words or less, and you could be rewarded with fantastic prizes like 3 business mentoring sessions from the Small Business Mentoring Service, radio exposure worth more than $5,000, plus a chance to receive your award live on Dennis Walter's afternoon program. Enter now at 3aw.com.au/small business success. The Small Business Success Awards for Momentum Energy. Melbourne's own 3AW 693.
What happens when a delicious jar of Nutella and a freshly delivered Krispy Kreme meet? 2 become yum. New Krispy Kreme donuts with Nutella. Lovingly dipped or filled with Nutella, they're a match made in 7-Eleven. Good call.
Favourite ice cream?
Strawberry.
Species of cat?
More of a dog man.
Movie?
Easy. Die Hard. All of them.
Huh, okay. Your favourite horse to win this weekend?
Well, there's Wildfire. She's a great filly. Oh, and then there's Black Truffle. She's a proven galloper. And you can't forget Suave Fella. He always powers home. I mean, that's not even...
Can't choose between the horses you love? Bundle all the runners you love in the one price. And if any of them win, you win with Tab's Bundle Bet. Tab, we love a bet. Gamble responsibly.
CarAdvice.com rates and reviews every new car in Australia. Here's Mandy Turner from Car Advice with this week's comparison.
Hatchbacks are affordable and practical and are a popular choice amongst couples when choosing their next car. We picked 3 to compare: the Holden Astra, Renault Megane and Subaru Impreza. The improved Astra has made waves as it spearheads Holden's European range, whereas the Megane is the stylish French option for those who like to think differently. Meanwhile, the Impreza has signature all-wheel drive surety. All 3 come in at under $30,000, with each offering a compelling package. But which is best for you? Head to caradvice.com to find out.
CarAdvice.com. Trusted and independent comparisons, reviews, specifications, entertaining videos and more. From SUVs and performance cars to utes and small runarounds. CarAdvice.com. Every new car, every last detail.
Brilliantly done by Fantasia. What a pick up, then a bounce. Sweeps the handball wide to Danaher. 50 from goal. He steadies himself for a moment. Drop punt to a vacant goal square. That's your goal, Matty. It comes off the boot of Joe Danaher. Goal number 5.
5 of the best from Joe Danaher tonight. The Tom Wills medal for best on ground, and the Bombers home by 17 points. 17-8, 110 to 13-15, 93. John Worsfold has just started his press conference down in the bowels of the MCG. Let's pick it up.
Contribute to the game at those critical times. But again, for our group, at critical times, we're not looking for one person to stand up. We're looking for everyone to continue to play the way we want to play.
Fantastic session in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was. It's been a big week for him. Obviously, heading up to playing his 300th game, and it just shows the quality of people who can get to that milestone. As they're just unbelievable footballers, really. To be resilient to play that long, but the talent, and he's still moving really well.
Marcus has sort of struggled at times this year, but
tonight was easily his best game. What changed for him tonight?
Yeah, he was certainly aware and disappointed in his form over the last few weeks, and narrowed his focus about what his strengths are to bring to the team. And I thought he was outstanding tonight. Set the tone for us in terms of his improvement and how we wanted to play early.
John, do you know how good the team can be yet, given that it's been a bit up and down, a bit everything? They show like they did tonight, and do you get a feel of how good they can be yet?
Yeah, we've got some work to do. We're still adding things to the way we want to play. So, that's the exciting part, is that we haven't nailed everything yet, but we sort of knew it was going to be a little bit up and down. But in most games, we've played some really good footy. The first half against Fremantle last week, I thought was great footy. Now we couldn't sustain that, so that was disappointing. And against Melbourne, we were, it was probably our in the end our goal kicking, but some of our field kicking against Melbourne. Otherwise, we were well and truly in the hunt there. So to hang in there and fight through that tonight was outstanding, and that we need more of that, and that's our challenge.
What do you in terms of expectations going in, where you are at now, past, below, above?
Yeah, I had no great expectations, and I hadn't set any real levels for where we wanted to get to this year, other than seeing that the players were embracing what we're trying to achieve and aiming to improve every week. And I'm seeing a group that is buying into that and holding each other accountable, which, really the leadership group tonight, our senior leaders out in the field, with Job, Dyson, Zach Merritt, Joe Danaher, Brendan Goddard, Hurley and Hooker. They were all very strong contributors, and they're going to demand that some of the younger players like Zaharakis and Parrish follow their lead. And I think they're getting that support from those other players.
John, is there a real, I suppose, focus on trying to get more young guys going through the centre bounce attendances? We saw David Myers and McGrath and Zaharakis going through there really good tonight.
Yeah, it's something that we're looking at for sure. We've got some good young talent. So Tip and Woody went through the middle a bit. I think Fantasia might have got in there for some as well. So we think those guys can multi-skill and add value or add layers to their game, and that will be something we'll keep exploring. But that's a bit about what I was talking about. There's stuff that we also want to settle the group and get them to build that chemistry and gel together, but we also now are at a point where we think we can challenge guys to impact the game in other ways.
A very proud John Worsfold after the Bombers squared the ledger tonight. They're now 4-4. They won their first two games of the season. Of course, on Anzac Day, got over the top of the Magpies, and tonight they've beaten Geelong by 17 points, 17-8, 110 to the Cats, 13-15, 93. Geelong stormed home 6-6 to 3-1 in the last quarter, but the Bombers had dominated the opening three terms and led at the last change by 40 points. More from the coaches, in particular Nathan Buckley, after our next break, but it is time for the Vic Super votes, and there's some chance that Joe Danaher will be best on ground, given that Kane Corns voted on the Tom Wills medal tonight, and Joe Danaher did win that. Vic Super, of course, gets super active with Vic Super, and at the end of the season, $5,000 to our Vic Super 3AW Player of the Year, and $5,000 to a lucky listener, and a weekly prize of $500 cash to a lucky listener as well. Go to the 3AW website, 3aw.com.au for more details. Cornsey, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I didn't think it was there was a clear-cut best on ground, but I just thought for the big moments, very difficult to kick 5 goals as a key forward. Toughest position on the ground, spent some time in the ruck, thought he was pretty competitive in there. So Danaher got my 5, but let's do the 1 first. Tom Hawkins was the best Geelong player, I thought. 4 goals and a couple at crucial stages. You felt he was the one Geelong player, along with Dangerfield, who could have got them back into the game and did their best, especially late in the last quarter. 2 votes to Zaharakis, his best game for the season. 31 disposals, a lot of those on the outside, 17 handball receives, but thought his run and carry was important, 5 inside 50s. I gave 3 votes to Merritt. Could have probably got the 4 or the 5 for his 33 disposals, uses the footy well. Would love to see him kick the ball inside 50 a little bit more. He's got such a great kick, just the 2 inside 50s from his 33, but to have 11 contested possessions and led the way, the most tackles on the ground with 12. He's a very good young player, and I love watching him play. Just no fuss, gets it done every week. 4 votes for Fantasia. Now, this is probably a little bit controversial, just the 18 disposals, but just thought at crucial stages he was able to open the game up and looked a class above tonight with his leg speed, kicked 3 goals, and loved his moment late in the game where he came off the back of the square up against Patrick Dangerfield. Crucial stage of the game. Didn't get a stat for it, but saved the day and saved the goal. So thought he had a huge influence on the game. And Danaher, for his 16 disposals, how many marks did he take? He took 6 marks and kicked the 5 goals, was my best on ground.
Joe Danaher, best on ground, the Vic Super player of the night. Get super active with Vic Super. So 5 goals. 5 goals, 2. He came into the game tonight with 16-16. That doesn't, of course, include the complete misses. Lloyd, he out of bounds on the full and the like, but what's he up to now? 21 goals, 18 for the season. Kicked 3 straight against the Dockers last week, so he's kicked 8 goals, 2 in his last 2 outings.
Yeah, last year, I think, kicked... What was it? 40s, late 40s. Joe Danaher. So I think he should be capable of kicking 60. I think that should be the aim for Joe Danaher this year. I know what was it, Beaver?
43-32 last year.
I think maybe he was 38 the year before. So to kick 43 goals in a side that was pretty much non-competitive for a lot of it, you'd think that 50 to 60 should be the aim this year.
Well, he's halfway to last year's total after 8 rounds. 21 majors, and probably should have a few more, shouldn't he? It's fair to say. Let's have a quick listen now. We will take another break shortly, but with the triple header that we covered today and crossing straight from Spotless Stadium to here at the MCG after that thrilling twilight encounter, Collingwood so brave for so much of the game against the Giants. The Giants finally have beaten the Magpies, but took a last gasp effort, a goal from Stevie J in the goal square with 30 seconds to go to get over the top by 3 points. So we'll have a listen to Nathan Buckley on the other side of the break. The Magpies now slumping to 2-6, and in fact Hawthorn would have leapfrogged them today, so they're down to 16th, the Magpies, and if Sydney get over the top of North Melbourne in the twilight game tomorrow, they'll actually be down to second bottom. We'll have a listen to Nathan Buckley on the other side of this on Saturday night, 3AW football.
Hi, this is Tom Elliott on 3AW Drive. Join me weekdays at 3 as we tackle the issues that matter, the issues that are important to you.
Hi, Rob from E&S. Get up to $2,300 off ASCO kitchen appliances when you purchase select ovens, cooktops, range hoods and dishwashers. Plus save $400 on select ASCO laundry packs. Some conditions apply. Surround yourself with quality at E&S.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. This week only at National Tiles, direct from Italy and Spain, we've got European wall and floor tiles that to my eyes are indistinguishable from natural marble. Starting from an unbelievable $30 per metre, these beautiful wall and floor tiles are a fraction of the price of natural stone. This unbelievable offer must end Sunday. So rush into National Tiles now and save, or go to nationaltiles.com.au for details.
Since moving to an Aveo retirement community, I felt like I really belonged again. Just being involved with different social activities is a great way to meet new people. I've made lots of new friends here, many in a similar position to me. I've joined the social club, so all the events make a big difference. Someone's always around to have a cup of tea with, so I never really feel alone.
At Aveo, we believe everyone needs to belong. So feel free to drop into one of our retirement communities, have a chat with us, and get a feeling for retirement living with Aveo. Visit aveo.com.au to hear stories from other residents just like Jenny.
A Movable Feast with Ross and Kate.
Join us from 11 a.m. Saturdays as we bring you the best in food and travel.
Well, we start with Michelin star chefs and cafe reviews.
And head to great picnic spots for the family and holiday locations to get away from it all.
Please follow us on Facebook and share your photos and favourite spots with us. Talk to you Saturday.
A Movable Feast, thanks to Love a Duck. Indulge with Love a Duck's fresh premium duck. Australian grown and family owned. It's Make May Love a Duck month.
Inspired by you.
Mother's Day is almost here, and with it, the cooler weather. So now is a great time to put a smile on Mum's face with new rugs and cushions from Deco Rug.
There's a huge stylish range to choose from, and with Deco Rug's 20% off deals on all rugs and cushions for Mother's Day, you'll be smiling too.
And don't forget about Deco Rug's famous Love It satisfaction guarantee. So, it's sorted. Mother's Day, Deco Rug, 20% off. It's that easy.
It really is amazing what you can do with Deco Rug.
When you know Centrelink hasn't been giving you the help and assistance you're entitled to, don't bottle it up, kick and scream. Or trust Age Pension Solutions and never deal with Centrelink again. Age Pension Solutions care about you, and they will fill in your forms, ensure accurate records and make your pension easy. Get pension peace of mind. Call Age Pension Solutions today on 98 98 1500. That's 98 98 1500. Or visit agepensionsolutions.com.au.
Cheer, cheer the red and the white.
Join in the Marngrook Indigenous celebrations when the Sydney Swans play Hawthorn in a Friday night blockbuster at the SCG. May 26 at 7:50pm. You don't want to miss this one. Single adult tickets available from only $33. Head to ticketek.com.au/Sydney Swans to book your tickets now. Sydney Swans, proudly Sydney. Ticket purchases may attract additional ticket agent service handling and transaction fees.
Cold beer on a Friday night. A pair of jeans that fit just right.
11 minutes to 11 on the Ray White clock. A little bit of country music to come back to the MCG, which is darkened now after the country game of 2017. The Bombers and the Cats putting on a good show tonight, in particular the Red and Blacks. Essendon winning by 17 points, 17-8, 110 to Geelong, 13-15, 93. In the other night game, big upset over in the city of Churches. Melbourne, with 12 goals to 3 after half-time, have belted the Crows by 41 points, 17-5, 107 to 9-12, 66. We'll get to Big Rexy in just a tick back in the 3AW studio, warming up for his footy nightline for Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives. But the absolute thriller today was in Sydney, Western Sydney, of course. GWS by 3 points over Collingwood, 15-12, 102 to 15-9, 99. Let's have a listen to a very disappointed Collingwood coach Nathan Buckley post-match.
We were good enough, but not for long enough. I thought we got the gap in the scoreboard that was pretty important early in the game. And in the second quarter, we had a really poor second quarter that gave the ascendancy back and let an opponent that, you know, have got to play in surges and play in waves, and we just gave them some incentive and kept them interested and paid the price ultimately. We still needed to win it. You know, we still needed to win the game, and we did a lot of hard work across the four quarters, and in particular in that last quarter to be able to put ourselves in that position. But we had chances that we should have iced it in the last 5 minutes, and we weren't able to. And then, you know, there's just little things, little blues that we made that gave the opposition the opportunity to steal it basically in the end. So that's the way it goes. It was a flip of the coin in, you know, that last 2 or 3 minutes, whether we were going to be able to hold on, whether we'd be able to, you know, have the composure to possess the ball and shift it out of our back half and chew the clock up. But we just weren't able to get a clear enough opportunity to do so. And, yeah, in the end, you know, it's not lucky. We didn't win contested ball in the second quarter, and we weren't tackling. So there was a little bit of a work rate issue that we got outworked. And against the quality side, you've got to make sure that you bring 4 quarters of footy. And, you know, there was a differential of about, I think, the same differential in the second quarter against as there was 4 in the first. So the game was square at half time when we felt we should have been able to hold sway.
Nathan Buckley talking there after Collingwood's 3-point loss earlier today to the Giants. We'll just hold Rexy for a moment because Chris Scott has just started his press conference down in the bowels of the MCG. Let's pick it up.
That didn't contribute at all in half of footy and some over the course of the whole game. So sometimes I talk about the complexities of the game. We don't even get anywhere near the complexities before we almost run out of problems that we've got to fix at the moment. They're fundamentals. They're pretty simple. The upside is 3 or 4 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, we showed that we could do those things well. So it should be a quick fix. But 3 weeks into it, we need to turn it around and turn around quickly. The upside is pretty tight competition. So if you take a couple of steps back, and 5-3 is not a horrible position to be in. But I think potentially the first 5 rounds of the year flattered us a bit.
Okay, we'll have to leave Chris Scott there because we do need to clear a final break before we wrap up from the MCG on a night when the Bombers have beaten the Cats by 17 points. For KFC, this is 3AW Footy.
Judge Burns here. I don't always have the final say on the big issues of the day. Join the 3AW Breakfast jury and you can decide.
3AW 693. If you're cooking Italian food, why not capture the true taste of genuine Italian ingredients